Okay, so now that we've taken our test, I just want to show you guys a couple of things about linear and quadratic equations, about writing them, but also using your calculator to come up with equations for a set of points. So this is what I want to show you today. So first off, linear line functions, remember, are a straight line. The equation for those is y equals mx plus b. Okay, remember the m is the slope, b is the y-intercept, okay, and that's all of the information that's given to us in the equation. Okay, remember that quadratics are the parabolas, all right, and their equation in standard form is written y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Remember, we also talked about there's a vertex form, and that's something that's available that you can use as well, but this is the standard form that we see most often, and we can still find the axis of symmetry with the x equals negative b divided by 2a formula, and we can work with those and find our solutions and all of that. But this is just kind of just a quick review, linear versus quadratic, okay? So here is what I want us to do. So we're going to come down here and we're going to use a graph to decide if something is linear or if it's quadratic, and then we're going to write an equation for that equation or for that line, and then we're going to use our calculators to do that. Okay, so we're going to plot these points. So I'm going to start here. Remember, x is your left and right movement, negative to the left, positive to the right. Y is your up and down movement. So up is positive, down is negative. We always start at 0, 0. Okay, so we're going to start and go 2 to the left, and then down 7, and then we go to 0, negative 3. Okay, then we're going to go 1, negative 1, 3, 3, and 5, 7. Okay, and so what we create here is a line. Okay, and just by visually, I can tell that is linear function. And the equation for that is going to be dependent on that y-intercept and the slope. Now, one thing that you can do is actually use your calculator for this, and I'm going to show you how to do this because it's actually really nice that your calculator will do this. So we're going to turn it on, okay, and we are going to go to the Stat button. That's this button right here next to the arrows, and we're going to hit 1 for edit. Okay, and what we're going to do here is, let me clear this out first. Okay, all right, under L1, we're going to write our table of x values. So I'm going to do negative 2, enter, 0, enter, 1, enter, 3, enter, and 5. And then I'm going to go to the right, and I'm going to do my y values in the second line. So I'm going to have negative 7, enter, negative 3, enter, negative 1, enter, 3, enter, and 7. Okay, so now I have this x and y table built here. Now, if I hit graph, your calculator graphs those points for you. So you can see that that is a line and it matches what you have on your graph. Okay, so now if I want to create the equation for this, I'm going to go to Stat again. I'm going to go to the right to calculate, and I'm going to go down here to linear regression. Okay, it's number 4, the one that says ax plus b, which is matching to the mx plus b. And I'm going to press enter. Okay, and x is my L1, y is my L2. That's what I typed them in as. And so I'm going to press enter, 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 all the way down to calculate. And then I press enter one more time. And this gives me, here's the formula, y equals ax plus b. They use a instead of m. I'm going to use a is 2 and b is negative 3. I'm going to plug that in. So I end up with y is equal to, instead of a, I use 2, and then x, and then instead of b, I'm going to use negative 3. And that is the equation for this line. So really nice, your calculator does that for you, okay? So I'm going to do second mode, I'm going to quit out of that, and we're going to go to number 2, okay? Now on number 2, we're going to graph this. So I have negative 3, 2, goes right here, negative 2, 1, negative 1, sorry, goes right here, negative 1, negative 2, 0, -1, and 1, 2. And so I end up with this shape. Yep, this shape right here, which is a parabola. So this is going to be a quadratic. Okay, and so now I'm going to show you how to do the same thing with your calculator for a quadratic to come up with the equation. So here we go. We're going to go back to Stat. Okay, you're going to go to Edit, press Enter. And then to clear this out, it's a little bit trickier. You go all the way up to the L2, you press Clear, and then you press Enter, and it'll clear that out. Then go back up to L1, press Clear, and press Enter. Okay, and then we're going to type in these values again. So X is going to be -3, enter, -2, enter, -1, enter, 0, enter, 1, enter. Go to the next side, and you're going to have 2, enter, -1, enter, -2, enter, -1, enter, 2, enter. Okay, and if I hit graph, it'll graph those points, and that matches my graph, so everything looks good. So now I'm going to go back and press Stat again. Okay, I'm going to go to the right and press Calculator, and I'm going to scroll down to Quad Reg, okay, which is Quadratic Regression, and I'm going to press Enter. Okay, and again, I'm using L1 as my X and L2 as my Y, so I'm going to press Enter all the way down until I get to Calculate, and then I'm going to press Enter again. And what happens is, notice it's written as ax squared plus bx plus c, that standard form like we're used to. Here are your values for a, b, and c, and you are going to plug those in. So y is equal to, all right, a is 1, so 1x squared, which we just write as x squared, plus b, which is 2x, and then c is -1, so -1. So we end up with y is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 1, and your calculator has created that equation for you. And so now you have the equation for this quadratic, okay? So really nice. This is very nice to be able to do, and your calculator will do it for you. So that is going to be the basic of what you're going to do. So you've got numbers 3 and 4, and 5 and 6, and 7 and 8 to work on, okay? And those are going to be the same thing. Graph it, decide if it's linear or quadratic, and then use your calculator to do linear regression or quadratic regression, okay? Now, 9 and 10 is a little bit different because these are word problems, okay? So on this, the value of V of a computer between 1999 and 2003 is given in the table. Write an equation for the line of best fit, then predict the value of the computer in 2008, okay? So here we have our x value. Here we have our y values in a table. You're going to go in and plug in those values and plug in these values into a table just like we did before. And then it says it is a line of best fit. So this means it is going to be a linear regression in your calculator, okay? And so you're going to do that and find the line. And so your final answer will be written in that y equals mx plus b format, all right? Now number 10, we talk about a coin thrown off the top of the Statue of Liberty, which is 300 feet, 5 feet from the ground. The height of the coin is recorded after each second and timed in the table below. Write an equation for the curve of best fit, then predict the height of the coin after 7 seconds, okay? So number 9, make sure you do the linear regression, but then you have to predict the value of the computer in 2008. So you need to know if x is 2008, then what is y going to be? So you're going to plug in 2008 for x to find out what y value you're going to have, okay? So you're going to work through that. Now number 9, you're going to plug all these values in like normal, and then a curve of best fit means you're dealing with a quadratic regression. So you're going to do that on your calculator, and then you're going to predict the height, what is y, when x is 7, okay? So that's the values and that's the information that we're going to use to solve those problems, all right? So I think that is what we're going to work through. I'm going to let you guys practice on these, and then if you have any questions, you can ask about them. But we're going to do numbers 1 through 10. We've already done 1 and 2. And I've kind of walked you through what to do on numbers 9 and 10. So practice with that. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be happy to help.